We left Ardra last week, so I'm just touching upon it, and we'll proceed from there. So Rudrasya Bahu Mrugayavaha Parastat Viksharo Avastat. This is what we learned about Ardra the last week. So the Rama, after having lost, after having lost Sita to Ravana due to her abduction, Rama became very furious. The word Viksharo, as I said last time, would mean disinterest in everything, not having enough interest. I mean, Rama has lost interest in everything, and he thought of destroying the whole world because Sita is not in front of him. Similarly, in a similar story, when Sati Devi went into the yajna, the fire, uh, Rudra has got moved himself, and he started destroying everything. So there can be destruction in Ardra because of the furious nature of Ardra. Okay. So after having lost Sita due to the abduction, what happened is the nakshatra that came up is Punarvasu. Okay. Look at this mighty Punarvasu, I would say, because if you look at the mantra, Adityaihi Punarvasu Vataha Parastat Ardram Avastat. This is what is the mantra of Punarvasu is. You see, when Sita disappeared, Rama did not know what to do. Okay, the person who helped Rama is Hanuman. Okay, if you look at Adityai Punarvasu Vataha, Vataha would mean wind. Okay, so Hanuman is called as the Pavanasuta, the one who is the child of the wind. Okay, so Vataha is wind. So wherever Vataha, the term Vataha comes up anywhere in any shlokas, when you read, it would mean wind and the most powerful. You know why? I'm not very sure if I've explained this in the English class. So I'm just giving it to the English students. That is, when you have a cyclone, especially to the people of the coastal regions, most of the people must have experienced cyclone. If you see the cyclone, people are not worried about the quantity of rainfall or the centimeters or the millimeters or the inches of rainfall that the place is going to receive, but their worry would be mostly on the kind of wind speed that they may have when the cyclone is crossing or landsliding is happening for the cyclone, because the more the speed of the wind is, the more the destruction is going to be. Or in other words, wind is the most powerful of all the 5 elements on the earth. So as we have Prudhivirapa Tejo Vayura Akashaha, that means all the 5 elements are there, of which the wind is the most powerful element. And who helped Rama is the wind, or the son of the wind, that is Hanuman, in coming out of the trouble by locating where Sita is. And Hanuman made a good darshan of Sita, and he had restored peace for Rama. Okay, because when Hanuman flew up to Lanka and got the darshan of Sita, he flew back once again. Okay, and he informed Rama that look, Rama, Sita is safe and sound, and she is in Lanka. Now we have to start our journey to Lanka and get Sita back. And he could see smiles on Rama's face and as well as Sita's face. Okay. So whatever destruction that happened in Ardra, just in case something happens, if there are planets to support in Punarvasu, then they are going to restore anything that happened in Ardra. Okay. So this is the connection between these two stars, because Ardra is extremely powerful. Even for good. Okay, do not think that Ardra will not bring any good things. Well, yes, Ardra brings a lot of good things, along with a few bad things sometimes. So just in case something goes wrong in Ardra, Punarvasu is always there to restore the peace from it. That's what Punarvasu does. So the help comes from outside for Punarvasu. That is, Rama was actually looking for help, and the person called Hanuman came up and helped a great man like Rama. Okay, so you are going to receive help from someone outside of your of your knowledge. That's what Punarvasu is. And also, whenever Rama had another trouble, like the next nakshatra is Aslesha. Okay, Punarvasu is followed by Aslesha. Aslesha is the sarpas, or the serpents, okay, or the nagas. So Vishnu's uh, Vishnu's bed is the Adisesha, or the Ananta, we call him. Okay, so this man Ananta came as Lakshmana when Rama was the Avatara. Lakshmana is the Adisesha. When Krishna was the Avatara, Balarama was the Adisesha. So every time Rama took an avatar, automatically Lakshmana as well came. And what happened in Punarvasu is Rama was very worried when Lakshmana actually fainted because of an arrow from the demon king's son. Ravana's son Mekhanatha has shot Lakshman. So even then, once again, the Vataha, okay, that is the wind, helped Lakshmana in restoring his life. So this nakshatra, or this star, is going to be very helpful for restoring something that is lost. Okay, if there is something that is lost, uh, some glory is lost, some money is lost, any material thing that is lost due to Ardra, because Ardra is not very interested in material things. He's looking at knowledge, because Ardra is Shiva. Shiva would want knowledge more than the material. However, material follows him, because Ishvara would mean Aishwarya. Ishvara heti bhavaha Aishwarya, because Aishwarya would mean wealth, despite the fact that Shiva is a poor man, but you would pray Shiva to obtain wealth. Okay, not many people pray Vishnu for wealth, but a lot of people pray Shiva for wealth, because Shiva is the creator or giver of wealth. Okay, so if you look at it, Ardra may create some issues with respect to losing some wealth, or losing someone in the life, and losing some, what do you call it, losing some peace. And the restoration of the peace or restoration of the material things can happen with the nakshatra called Punarvasu. Adityaih Punarvasu Vataha Parastat Ardram Avastat. So this Ardra again is linked here. That would mean these two nakshatras are linked to each other, and this can be called as Sita, or this can be called as Parvati. Okay, because Rudra is the father of the whole world, whereas Parvati is the divine mother of the whole world. So Adityai would mean Aditi. Aditi is the Deva Mata. That means the mother of all the devas. She's called as Aditi. Okay, this is a very common name that you would come across in the North India, because a lot of people name their children as Aditi. And Diti is the Danava Mata, or the Rakshasa Mata. So these two were sisters, and Punarvasu is a nakshatra which is lorded by the Deva Mata, or the divine mother, that is Aditi. Okay, the same Aditi is in different forms, in different yugas or different kalpas. Okay, at the start of the kalpa, she's called as Aditi, and she created all the devas and the the Dwadasa Adityas, or the 12 Adityas that we have. They are her sons, and there are 8 Rudras. There are 8 Vasus, they are her sons, and also 11 Rudras, her sons, and also 2 Ashwini Devatas, her sons. All these put together, they are 33 in number, and all these would form 33 deities for Hinduism. Okay, that's the Vedic culture. And she is the mother of all of them. The father is Prajapati, okay, and the Prajapati's wife is Aditi. So the Prajapati has also more wives. The other wife is Diti, and he also has many more wives. Okay, so let's see each of the things in the description that we have written here. So nakshatra deity is Aditi, the divine mother. She is the mother of Indra as well. She is also the mother of Vamana. These are all the the Dwadasa Adityas. Indra is one of the Aditya. Even the Vamana is one of the Aditya, or he is also called as Vishnu. So even Vishnu's mother is Aditi. Okay. So in every incarnation of Vishnu, or every time Vishnu has taken an avatara, Aditi has become the mother. In the Rama's time, she became the Kausalya. Even in the Krishna's time, she became the mother of Krishna. Every time he has taken a human form and he went, ahead, Aditi became the mother of Vishnu every time. Okay, there are many yugas or many kalpas have already passed by, because we are in a manvantara which is almost lapsed for many times. So many times the earth is created, populated, destroyed, and again created and populated and destroyed. Okay, every time the Vishnu has taken an incarnation, every time she was the mother. Okay. So the symbol of this is quiver of arrows. Okay, that's what would if we look at the symbols, we can understand a lot of things. What happens with a quiver of arrows is you have a bunch of arrows with you. So in Ardra, let's suppose you lost one arrow, then you have more number of arrows with you, so that you can keep shooting till the time you can reach the goal. So what happens in the case of Punarvasu is Punarvasu will keep trying again and again and again. Okay. Even Ardra is also the same, because Parastat Ardram Avastat would mean Ardra and Punarvasu, if they are very strong, it means that the person is not going to accept defeat or failure very easily. He's going to try and try again and again till the time he reaches success. Okay, he is not going to accept defeat. So planets being placed in Ardra and Punarvasu are very good, just in case somebody has to materially prosper. Okay, and you have this nakshatra is kind of chara, or changing or movable. So what happens is in this is not a rigid nakshatra. Okay, this wants things to move. The moment something gets stagnant, okay, in life, if you have planets, more number of planets here in Punarvasu, the person would feel life is very stagnant. It has to move. Why is it not moving? Like Rama could not see Sita, and he kept on moving. He did not stop at a place. He kept asking everyone, and till the time Hanuman returned, Rama did not stop searching for Sita. He kept on searching. He was on the move continuously. He did not stop somewhere. That's what is the beauty of the nakshatra. This is not going to stop. It would keep the person active. It would keep the person moving. It would keep him like the get going thing we call. So it would get going. It would not stop at a place. Okay, Trayangamukha nakshatra, or facing sideways, would mean the nakshatra, the planets that are placed here, are going to blame for, let's suppose something wrong happens, the nakshatra here is going to blame the surroundings or the environment. Okay, it is not going to take the blame on himself, because the situation came up such that the abduction of Sita happened because of the illusion that they had, and they ran behind it. Had the illusion not happened in the Mrigashira nakshatra, like the golden deer has come up in Mrigashira, so there was an illusion. Because of the illusion, Rama went in search of the golden deer. Had Mrigashira not came, Punarvasu would not have been there, or Ardra would not have been there. Okay. So this nakshatra is going to blame it on the situation, on the surroundings, or on the people, but will not take a blame on himself or herself for that matter. Okay, there are different Puranic stories for it. One is Aditi, the deity of this nakshatra. And you have the nickname of this is, I like the name of the star very much. Nickname is star of renewal or rejuvenation. Okay, how do we rejuvenate? We take a holiday, we come back to work, and we rejuvenate. Similarly, there is a break in Ardra for any reason. If there is a break in Ardra, okay, something wrong happens in Ardra because of a strong Ardra. Okay, there has to be restoration of peace, because Ardra is a storm. When people go through Ardra, they will be in a storm. They will be stuck in a storm wherein there's a lot of water everywhere. The people are crying. They are in a difficult situation due to Ardra, because Ardra is pressure. Because Ardra, the symbol is diamond. The nature is going to give the native a lot of tasks that he has to master upon, and once he gets the mastery over all these things, or or the nature creates such a situation wherein the person has to get mastery over a lot of subjects, that's when Ardra is going to pacify, and it will push you into the next nakshatra of Punarvasu. Okay, so as the person in Ardra had a huge storm, just look at, let us suppose there was a cyclone, okay? For 1.5 days, everything will be shut. There will be huge rain, okay? And if you watch even a news channel, let's suppose somewhere a cyclone occurred, and just watch the news channel on the next day after the cyclone has passed off, and you get to see how broken trees are there, and there is a lot of tranquility. Nobody is on the roads. All the roads are yet very clear. You have only water everywhere. That's what you can see. So there is a lot of tranquility in the busiest streets of the cities. When you're in Chennai or places like that, when we have a huge cyclone, nothing moves, everything stops. And on the next day there is a lot of nothing. We could get to hear a lot of truck sounds, etc., when the rain is not there. But when just after the rain, you would not hear anything. Everything is very peaceful. That's how it is. That's how Punarvasu is. And the person gets a chance to actually re-establish himself by throwing out all the water, cleaning his own home, etc. And he would start to rejuvenate from there, and he would try to rebuild things, because something is the rain has come and it has destroyed something, and he's trying to throw away all the rainwater and trying to rebuild himself. That's what Ardra, that's what Punarvasu is. The foundation here is the air or the wind, because the wind, the strength of wind, as I said, people are more bothered about the strength of the wind, or the kind of wind it is going to blow during the cyclone, than the amount of rainfall it is going to receive, because a lot of trees may be uprooted and so on. Okay, now let's look at the foundation below. That's the moisture. Okay, because Ardra is moisture, as I said last time, or the wetness. So moving people by emotion, because there's something wrong happened, and you're trying to build over that, because something wrong has happened and you're affected by it. You got emotionally moved. Let's suppose somebody has a Mercury in the ninth house in the Ardra. Okay, because Libra is the Lagna. Ardra has Mercury, assuming, so it would be in the own sign. So don't be clapping for Mercury in Ardra in the own sign. It may also bring in the death of the father at an early life of the native. Okay, so never think that planets in own signs are only going to give very good results. Planets in exaltation positions are going to give you only good results. This is not the right way of looking at horoscopes. They at the outset, the planets sometimes may seem that they are troubled, or they are not in a very good positions to the surface. But if you look at deeply, such planet may be giving very good results. Okay, and at the outset it may look like this particular planet might be in a very good position, but at the end the reality is not so. So as I said, let's come back to Ardra. Some may have lost his father, because there is Mercury known sign in the Ardra nakshatra in the ninth house, And there has to be afflictions, obviously. I'm not saying that somebody has Mercury in the Ardra and has Libra as Lagna. It wouldn't mean that the father is definitely going to die. There will be many people who would have that combination. However, just in case the person loses his father, or he loses touch with his father, or he builds some toxic relation with his father, it is going to be revived in the Punarvasu Nakshatra. Just in case the father has left him, that's a different case. I mean, if the father has died, that's a different case. However, he has to re-establish himself, come out of that emotional trauma and things like that. And the person has to even catch up with his career, because this person might be young, because Ardra destruction is going to come at a young age. Ardra is not going to disturb you at a very very old age. Ardra is going to give you the pressure, intense pressure is going to come when you are very at your very adolescent age. That's where the Ardra is going to work, if it works, and it is going to give you tremendous pressure. Once that happens, this man is going to rebuild from the Punarvasu, if Punarvasu is favorably placed. If also Punarvasu is negatively afflicted, then the Ardra thing might even continue even in the Punarvasu as well. Okay. So, but 99.999% of the times, Punarvasu definitely gives a huge sigh of relief after a very bad Ardra. Just in case Ardra is okay and did not bring in any problems, it would mean Punarvasu is also going to go just okay. Otherwise, just in case Ardra has brought in destruction, that's when a huge sigh of relief will come from Punarvasu. This is what you have to understand. Okay. So the final desire is to produce herbs and trees. Okay. So if you look at this the thing, and also look at the power, the Vasutva Prapana Shakti, that's what we call it. Vasutva Prapana Shakti. And that's because it is going to give you wealth and materialistic goals, and remove the setback that the Ardra has created. Somebody in an adolescent age, let's suppose he lost his father, it would mean a huge thing for him, because he has not even completed his education. He does not have the right path to live, because father is a feeding figure for him. Father is a breadwinner. And how is he going to live? So he lost him, and there has to be this Punarvasu Nakshatra who is going to provide him a job or an education that is going to give him some wealth or something else, or a friend who will come up to him and say, okay, let's unite together and start a business or something, so on. Okay. And Punarvasu keeps on helping the native whenever there is a destruction in the life due to Ardra. Okay. Because Ardra, do not think Ardra is not going to come back. Ardra might come back at different intervals, because Ardra is a person who's going to lose interest. So if there is a loss of interest, there is a rebuild of interest, or rebuild of the material thing once again with the Punarvasu. So the desire is to produce herbs and trees. That would mean, when the destruction happens, everything will be wiped off the surface of the earth. So somebody has to replant a tree. Okay, somebody has to repopulate the earth, because Rudra is a destroyer. Rudra would destroy everything. That's the previous nakshatra. So Ardra destroys and Punarvasu rebuilds it. Okay, this is Shiva and Parvati. So one is, both are trying to help the cycle of birth and rebirth. Okay, this is a little complicated thing. However, if you look at the whole chain of food, okay, the food chain, the Shiva rules the animals, and the Parvati rules the plants. Okay, because she rules the nature. So nature you might say nature would have both animals and plants, but nature predominantly is built by plants, and animals would add up to it. Okay, so as Parvati is going to be the first creator, like unless there are plants, animals cannot exist, because there are plants. So would exist a deer or a goat, and then would exist a carnivorous animal that can which can eat this goat or the deer that is created due to the plant. So the whole food chain is being governed by the Ardra and the Punarvasu. So somebody is in a restaurant business, might open restaurants, etc., for having a very good kritika. because Kritika is to eat, because fire is required to burn something and to make a meal, or you try to prepare food, you need gas, or you need fire these days. Okay. And just in case Ardra and Punarvasu are not very well disposited, then you might have issues with the restaurant that you have opened up. Okay, that's how you try to connect each of the stars. Okay, just in case you would see that what I say, the Kritika is starting up a restaurant. If Ardra and Punarvasu are not trying to cooperate with it, then this person is going to go into losses. If Ardra and Punarvasu are well placed or well positioned with planets with least afflictions, the restaurant business is going to go up. Okay. So everything changes with the connection of nakshatras, because Ardra getting connected to Kritika would give you a different result. Bharani getting connected to Ardra would give you a different result. Okay, because Bharani would be Yama and Ardra would be the destroyer, Rudra. So getting connections to Ardra and Bharani would mean heavier destruction, because one is trying to kill, the other is trying to count the number of people who are killed. Okay. I mean, the Yama is going to count, right? He's the gatekeeper, or the person who is going to count upon people who are dying, and he would have a list of people who are dying and what has to be done with those souls. Okay. All right, let's move into the stories. So Rama, Ravana, and Sita. So Punarvasu, as such, if you see, is the nakshatra of Rama himself. Okay. Punarvasu is the nakshatra in which Rama was born. So you can expect the whole life story panned with this nakshatra. So whole of Rama story, if you take, the whole thing is going to come up in Punarvasu. In few steps, I mean, anybody can go up into my website, the free vedicastro.com, and go onto the menu study and go to nakshatras, and I have given the description for each of the nakshatra. There can be a few mistakes. I'm just, writing the website myself, and I keep writing as I get ideas. So there can be a few mistakes. I have given the responsibility of correcting whatever mistakes we come across to one of my students. It would be eventually corrected in the next few months. So be a little patient. If you encounter any mistake, just bring it to my notice so that we'll take care of it. So if you see the nakshatra Punarvasu, I'm not going to describe you the whole story. I'm just going to give you a few gists of what Rama and his life is. So if you want to read the whole story, you can come here and read on the story one thing. Okay. Rama is born in a wealthy family. Okay. Similar is the case with Aditi. Aditi is born to a Prajapati. Prajapati would mean Brahma. Okay. Brahma would mean Rajasika, because there are three kinds of things available, gunas available. So one is Satvika, the other is Rajasika, the third is Tamasika. Okay. Satvika would mean doing nothing. Okay. Do not think Satvika is good. Never think Satvika is entirely good. Okay. Nor think Tamasika is entirely bad. All three would exist for a reason. Okay. None of the gunas are bad as such. All three would help in the process of creation and destruction. Okay. Satvika is something which does not do anything. Okay. Or it would say only do good things. Or it would say a lot of things are banned. You should not be doing any of these things. Okay. I'm just trying to ease out things. Okay. There can be different variations available at different places. For the sake of astrology, or for the sake of my class, I'm trying to give it in a proper way. So Rajasika would mean some things are acceptable. Okay. Tamasika would mean the things which are to be hidden from the proper world. So things done at night, things done in a hidden manner, or destruction of something, killing of someone for some reason. Okay, all these would come into Tamasika. There can be variations for different things. What I'm trying to say with Rajasika thing is Brahma is a Rajasika. Okay, Rajasika would mean Raja. Okay, a Raja's job is, because Satvika people are like sadhus. They don't have any job. They don't do anything. They just sit idle and would do tapas. Let us suppose everybody living on this earth is just doing tapas and not doing anything. Assume it. What happens? It happens the same thing as I said in Rohini Nakshatra, wherein a few people emerged out of Brahma and nobody was interested in carrying out the process of creation by mutual mating. Okay, that's when Brahma got into the act and he created Saraswati and started mating with her and built up all the species. So, Rajasika would mean having some desire for earning wealth. Okay, this is a Rajasika Nakshatra. So, this person is going to be a child of a kingly person, is what the thing says for Aditi or Rama story. Because Rama is born to an emperor, Aditi is also born to an emperor. Okay, Brahma is an emperor. So I'm not saying that these people, anybody who has got moon in Punarvasu, are going to be born in a place to a father who is an emperor. I never said that. What I'm trying to say is, if you try to spot out the differences between Ardra and Punarvasu, okay, if a Lagna falls in Punarvasu or a Lagna falls in Ardra, a few minutes of difference would make a lot of difference. A person born in Ardra would have a lot of responsibilities right from the childhood. Okay, he might be born in a well-to-do family, but he would have a lot of people around him trying to share a lot of food with him. Like, his father may be rich, but he has many people to share his food. It's not just him. Other than that, if you look at Punarvasu, the father is a lot richer than the Ardra fellow, or the father is equally richer, but he has less number to feed. So per capita, if you see, Punarvasu is a better placed individual than the Ardra, because he gets very less as a share due to the responsibilities the father has in the Ardra. Okay. The native is born in a family which is little well-to-do or little better than the middle class thing, and also always use Desha, Kala, Patra. Okay, that means that the kind of country the person is living, the kind of time we are looking at. Are we looking at 1940s or 2000s, or are we looking at 200 years ago, or are we looking at the kind of current time? I mean, somebody who is like born during 2000s, we have to look at an upper middle class family. Okay, or somebody born in about 1980s or 1970s, we would have to look at him as a lower middle class family, because the number of upper middle class families at the time of 1970, 1980 would be like, you can count them on fingers in India. So it depends on the kind of country you are living in. This native or this guy is going to be born in a family which is little better doing than his peer people, like his chachi people like that. Okay, and this person is going to be courageous because there is vataha here. Okay, vataha is an excellent word. I mean, you cannot describe this word, although this is just two letter word. This is the most powerful. Whichever field the person is going to go in, he is going to rock there. Okay, he is going to rock there, and he is going to establish his name because there is vataha in this. So in the middle age, or the just after the adolescence, because as I say, there are three words here in any mantra that we are talking. These are all from Taittiriya Brahmana. Just in case anybody needs the mantras, who are anxious, eager about the mantras, they can download these mantras. They are available in the internet. Just type Taittiriya Brahmana in whatever language you would want, you would get them. And if you look at these, there are always three words. One is the nakshatra name. If you add it up, it will be four words. So the common words in all the nakshatras is Parastat and Avastat. Just leave them out. You have four words. One is Aditya, second is Punarvasu, third is Vataha, fourth is Ardraha. Even if you remove this Punarvasu, because it's the common word, because that's the nakshatra name, you just would have Aditya, Vataha and Ardram. So if you just make your life into three parts, let's suppose somebody lives 90 years, the first 30 years will be ruled by Aditya, the next 30 would be ruled by Vataha, and the last 30 would be ruled by Ardra. This is a very, very kind of a thumb rule thing. wherein you can use it, what kind of situation the person is in right now, based on the age that he is in. So in the middle ages, the Vata is going to work, and the person is going to get issues and then riches. Okay, he's going to lose money because there is Vata, wind is there, and he's going to face some destruction, and then he's going to get some money. Okay. So Rama is born in a good family. So was Aditi. He is married off to an emperor's daughter, Sita. So is Aditi. Aditi's husband is also an emperor once again. Okay, both are Prajapatis. Aditi is born to a Prajapati, married off to a Prajapati. Both were Prajapatis in different times, because in those ages people used to live like thousands of years. Okay. Then once the marriage happened, Rama, even the marriage happened in the Punarvasu, marriage happened in the Pushyami Nakshatra. Rama was born in Punarvasu Nakshatra. So in the morning, Rama is celebrated for his birth, and in the evening, usually the marriage thing is done. So that's why a lot of people do not, I mean, not a lot of people, the Nakshatra Pushyami is not good for marriage. People think because soon after marriage, Rama had to go into a lot of troubles. Okay. We'll come to it later in the next class with the Pushyami thing. So let's come back to Punarvasu. In the Punarvasu, Rama was about to be coronated, and Kaikeyi came, and it disturbed the whole thing. Everybody knows the story. So the mother is going to be important in this person's life. Okay. So Punarvasu is going to have a dominative mother, or a helpful mother, or a mother which is, which is important in his life. Okay. The mother can make or mar the life of the native. So either she's going to bring in good to him, or she's going to bring in bad to him, would depend on the other things, other combinations. But mother is a very important character. Okay. Something will revolve around the mother here. The mother is going to support the native when something wrong happened, or the mother is also going to equally blame the native when something wrong has happened. Both can be possible. Okay. The mother is an important figure here for Punarvasu. And then you have the Ravana, the king, who has taken away Sita, and Hanuman came, and the peace is restored, and Rama has got back Sita, and they both have lived happily together. And in the Uttara Ramayana, you can see that Sita was left in the forests once again by Rama, and she was crying all through. She had to raise two children, and Rama was also crying continuously all his rest of his life, ever till the time Rama lived on the earth. So there are two possibilities of this. One can be a very good happy ending. The other is a very, very bad and a sorrowful ending. That's what Ardra would mean. So somebody who is very becomes very emotional at the end of his life, and tries to tries to save money, keep money for all of his all of his people around. Like, this man has earned money, and he has kept money for all of his children, or his brother's children, his sister's children, and stuff like that. Because this is Aditi, she's going to be bothered more about the children. She has children, and her interest is only in children. Okay. And Rama was about to be coronated. This woman Kaikeyi came, who's also the mother of Rama. Okay. Kaikeyi came and said, no, Rama has to go into exile. And every time this the situation came in where Aditi became the mother of the Vishnu in all the avatars that he has taken. Even in the when Krishna was born, he was separated from his mother. Even in Rama's case, Rama was separated from his mother in the youngest age. So it may also, you can also say that the children of this person are going to take admissions into colleges, or in the first few years of his career, the person is going to stay away from the mother, where less contact as possible, and both are not very comfortable with that position. The mother is not comfortable, and also the native is not very comfortable with that position. And once that education or career or something has changed, the person is going to come back and reunite with the family. Okay. And then you have this is what is about Sita thing. And Aditi, as I said, Aditi is the wife of the Prajapati. So Daksha Prajapati is his father, is her father, and Kasyapa Prajapati is the husband. Kasyapa Prajapati also has many wives because he was the person who was creating all the species. Okay, so Aditi was one of them, and Diti, most famously, Aditi and Diti are close, are together most of the times. And whenever we talk about Aditi, we always talk about Diti because Diti is the Rakshasa Mata or the mother of all the Rakshasas. And Aditi has asked Kasyapa only one thing: I would need good children. Okay, give me good children who are Satvikas, who are going to help the world. Okay, however, because there has to be cosmic order. Okay, Kashyapa always has maintained the cosmic order. To maintain that cosmic order, he has given her Vishnu, and he has also given her Indra. Indra, if you look at, there are very good stories about Indra, wherein Indra is portrayed as a very good man, and also there are many stories that revolve around us, wherein he is very seductive, not very good with women, and many more stories. He tried to destroy all of the asuras or the demons, because in our culture, Vedic culture, everybody has a right to live. Okay, our Vedic culture would say even the Rakshasas or the demons have the right to live. Even the evil spirits have a right to live. We cannot destroy any of them. As we are living, same they should be living. But Indra always wanted to kill all of the demons that existed. Okay, and there is always a rivalry between Aditi and Diti. Okay, so do not think because she is the Deva Mata and she is completely clean. And do not think Diti is the Rakshasa Mata and she is completely unclean. No, the Vedas never said that, nor the Puranas. So even the Puranic stories would say a thing wherein when the Diti was also pregnant. Okay, the Diti is the Mata of the Rakshasas or the demons. When she was pregnant, Aditi, this Deva Mata, has asked Indra to go with his Vajra and kill the embryo. Because if this embryo comes out, I got to know from your father that this embryo, the kid that is going to come out, is more powerful than you, Indra, yourself. Go and kill this embryo. So Indra enters the womb of the Diti. Okay, do not ask me how the logic applies because that's how the Puranas are written. Sometimes, not every time you get logic out of this. If you cannot comprehend the logic, do not think this is not possible. This can be possible. You can send in a probe these days. So anything can be done. We don't know how advanced the civilization was. So somebody who was very apprehensive about these things. I mean, I would say take this as an understanding so that you have the logic later on. Sometime later, maybe after 100 years, people can establish this. And even now, you can send in a probe. So this man Indra entered into the womb of Diti and tried to cut this embryo into many pieces. Okay. So once, I mean, there are different numbers. So I'm saying neither 7 nor 30 nor 60. Some would say they are 7. Some would say it is 30. Some would say it is only 25, 27, 60, different numbers. Let's not get into numbers. Let's all agree upon what is agreed by everyone. So everybody has agreed that Indra went into Diti's womb with the Vajra and tried to pierce or tear up all the embryo. So once this tearing apart was done, the embryo started crying because that's when the Indra said, "Do not cry, do not cry." So in Sanskrit, for saying "do not cry," we would say "ma ruda." Ma ruda. Ruda means crying. That's why Rudra means somebody who is crying or howling. So Ma'aruda means do not cry. Okay. So that's the name of these embryos. They're called the Maruts. Marut. Marut means wind. Okay. So once they came out, because they were not a single embryo, they all came out and became different individuals. So once these are not united, they are no more, stronger than Indra. So they all have got a position to help Indra himself. So Diti's children as well have helped Indra. Okay, they have helped Indra in actually destroying a bigger demon called Vritrasura. Okay, Why I'm telling you this is, so what happened was a lot of people did not know for a long time that Aditi was plotting against Aditi, and Aditi did something wrong. Okay. Aditi did something wrong. Nobody knew this. Only after a very long time has elapsed, people got to know that Aditi was, trying to plot against Aditi's children. So, and she got a little bad name for it. This even happened in the case of Sita, because Sita had to be left in the forest just because Rama got to know that there is a rumor spreading all across the kingdom that Sita lived at a place which Rama did not know for about 9 months, and Rama did not know what Sita did, and how can we are not going to go into the intricacies of it. So there is something wrong with what Sita might have done there. Okay, this can be true or false, but there can be a rumor that is spreading out against the native. Okay, even this can happen in case of Punarvasu. So there is a rumor usually during the middle age or during the time of career, about 35-40. During that time, there is something that comes out, a secret that comes out of the box, and everybody will get to know, and maybe people may be laughing around it, and the native of Punarvasu is little ashamed that okay, people got to know that I did this, or he might think I did not do anything wrong, but because the situation was so that I was there at that place, and this rumor is spreading. Therefore, okay, so that's one thing. So, what is the whole plot of this whole nakshatra is getting back whatever is lost. Okay. Second is mother is an important thing. Third is showing mother's love or mother's affection, kind of a thing, to everyone. Okay, trying to think that the whole world is my child and trying to feed everyone because she is the divine mother. Okay, do not think that because I just told you this story of Indra and Aditi, do not think Aditi is a bad woman. No, Aditi is a very good woman. She's like the Parvati or the Sita. You cannot have anybody better than Parvati or Sita. Okay, so even Parvati and Sita, they had their own pitfalls. That's what our culture is. I mean, we are not trying to make anyone free of everything. I mean, there is nothing that is free of everything. Nothing in this world is perfect, matches exactly with what we actually preach in Hinduism. Okay, so there is an ending for this nakshatra wherein a little compromise had to be done, because this person is highly ambitious. He's trying to achieve too many things at once because there is a quiver of arrows with him. Okay, he can keep aiming as many arrows as he would want, and he would keep throwing arrows at everywhere, and that's his strength. Okay, all right. So Aditya Punarvasu Vataha Parastat Ardram Avastat. This is the mantra. I would encourage everyone to actually have these mantras by heart. Okay, just in case somebody looks at Punarvasu, he has to get this mantra. Then he would not miss out on anything. The moment we have this nakshatra up our mind, then there is no chance that we can miss any of the result, because the nakshatra is very very vast. Okay, if we have this in place in our mind, then I don't think we will forget anything. So Aditya, the divine mother Aditi, Punarvasu is born wealthy, will fall in middle age and will rise up again. Because if you try to look at this word Punarvasu, Punaha means again, Vasu means the earth. Okay, earth means something that is wealthy. Anything that is related to wealth will be available only on the earth. If there is no earth, there is no wealth, because there is no meaning for wealth unless there is earth. Or as long as we are there on the earth, then only wealth matters. Otherwise, what comes along with us, I mean, after death, is just what we have done, but not the wealth. So Vasu would mean wealth. Punaha Vasu would means getting back the wealth. Okay. So usually what happens, born in a good family, raised family, he falls in the middle, and then again, once again, he's going to come back. Okay. Vataha, wind, the most powerful of all the elements, he's going to come back very strongly. That's what Vataha would mean. Punarvasu is going to come back very strongly. Ardra will behave like an Ardra at the last phase of life. This can be possible. Okay, is that the kind of detachedness that Ardra would have? Even that can happen, or the kind of emotional thing that the Ardra natives usually have. Even that can happen. Both are possible. I mean, having a little emotion is always good. I mean, you're trying to help your own people. Do not ever take just Ardra or wetness is going to create just the emotion, because unless there is wetness on the earth is going to be like a desert. You would not want something like a desert. You would need wetness in the earth, and there would be plants coming out. So unless there are plants, there is no food. Unless there is no food, there is no wealth. Okay. So Ardra would mean the wetness as well. So don't always think Ardra is going to be emotional. So only negatives you would get. No, Ardra is going to be very, very wealthy as well. The person has a lot of understanding of wealth, how to earn wealth, all the details of how to get wealth. Everything Ardra knows very well. Okay, same is the case with Punarvasu. If you have these two nakshatras very strong, it means that the person is wealthy despite everything. So I think I have covered this almost all. I do not want to repeat it so that. Okay. So let's look at the symbols. We have a quiver of arrows. The person would keep trying despite failures. He's not going to give up and say, "Oh, look, I'm lost. I'm not going to accept a failure." That's Punarvasu. Okay. He would try it once again. Maybe change a little course of the path and try to, because when Rama was trying to find Sita, he has sent people in all directions. So when everybody came back and said no, she's not available, then he thought of a different plan to send Hanuman out of India and look at the other side of the coast. Okay, so he's not going to stop there. Had Hanuman came back and said no, Sita is not available there, then he's going to send him into a different direction. Okay. Yoni, this is a female cat. Cat is usually a timid animal. Okay. Punarvasu is very timid. Just keep this in mind. Do not think just having Vata would make anybody brave. Vata would not mean brave. Okay, brave is different. What is that? What did I tell you on the Vata? Powerful is different. Okay, so Punarvasu is timid but powerful, because cats are usually timid. Cats do not want a problem. Because Rama did not want a problem. He was very happy with what he was having. Despite he was in the forest, his only thing was, I'm with my wife. My wife is along with me. My brother is along with me. I'm eating something. That's fine. I'm going to go back and look at my mother's. I'm pretty happy life. What else would I need? The moment Sita is off the picture, that's when Rama had a problem. And usually cats would not get into a problem. So these are timid animals. When they encounter people, cats would be very timid. They're going to go away. Okay. And cats would keep their children moving from one place to other. There are very tiny kittens all around. If you have ever looked at the kittens would be carried by ears by this mother cat, and she would keep her kittens in the morning at 6 o'clock at somewhere, and then about 10 o'clock she'll come back and take away the kittens to somewhere else, for the fear that maybe dogs might attack the kittens and they may eat them away. So that's the fear of the cat. The fear of the cat is my children should be successful. Okay, that's the fear. Anything I can sustain, you give me, oh God, you give me all the problems, let my children have no problem. This is what Punarvasu would think. So even if the native is a man, okay, he would think the same, like a mother. The way the mother is going to protect its kids, the same way it is. So somebody has a 10th lord or 11th lord in Punarvasu would mean he would treat all his subordinates like his children. Okay. Somebody has his own Lagna Lord in Punarvasu, or Lagna's dispositor is in Punarvasu, then the person is going to treat his children very, very carefully. He would be very worried about his children most of the times. Right? So cats are little indecisive. So Rama was very, very upset. He did not know what to do when Sita went disappearing. So he tried to, stop the world by shooting his arrow at everywhere. So that's when the ocean god came out, the Samudra came out and said, Rama, please stop destruction and keep looking for Sita. She'll be available. Okay. Copycats. People are, Punarvasu copies a lot because copycat is a word usually people would use for people, who are copying. Catnap is like Punarvasu might be interested in sleeping during the afternoons. I mean, these are very small predictions. I would not recommend senior people to use these. However, you may mix these up. Okay, just not use Lagna Lord and Punarvasu. You would be like sleeping in the afternoon. How would be a working person be sleeping in the afternoon? He cannot, right? I mean, that's common sense. So use some common sense always. So you have the third degree in the Cancer. Okay, Punarvasu is spread out in Gemini and Cancer. The final fourth quarter would be in the Cancer. So in the Cancer's third degree is the Yogatara of Punarvasu. So what does Yogatara mean is something a special point. Okay, Yogatara usually would not mean you're going to get only good yoga, because yoga would mean union. A good union or a bad union will depend on the planets and the lagna. So never think yoga is just good. The same way we have Mrityu Bhagas. Never think Mrityu Bhagas are only going to bring in destruction. No. Mrityu Bhagas can also work very well. Sometimes they also bring in prosperity. I will tell and I'll teach all of these once all the nakshatras are over. When we are, continuously doing examples, I'll teach how to use these degrees. Be a little patient. I mean, explaining out everything in one go would lead to nowhere. Just with these things, you can predict a lot of things. A lot of things you can predict. So the first, so what I'm saying is, you have a dispositor of a house lord in Punarvasu. That is going to be very powerful. If you have the cusp of a house, the next powerful thing. You just have the lord of a house, a little okay thing you will get from Punarvasu. So what is most important is the dispositor. Always look at a dispositor of a house. So let's suppose the seventh lord is somewhere. Let's suppose the seventh lord is in Sagittarius. Wherever your lagna is, forget it. Now the seventh lord is in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius' lord is Jupiter. If Jupiter is in Punarvasu, that's what I'm talking about. So if Jupiter is in Punarvasu, being the seventh lord's dispositor, then you can see the seventh. Okay, that's what is going to work the most. Now let's assuming the first lord dispositor is in Punarvasu, would bring in all this, or the first cusp at least. Okay. So it's like the father is going to do well, and he may get little lucky just after the person is born. The father may get little lucky, and he may get some promotion, riches, buying some land, and the native is going to obey, because Rama has always been very obedient child of both the parents. Anybody said anything, Rama, I mean, from the parent side, always obeyed both his parents and even the stepmothers as well. Okay, and he may lose some wealth, or he may lose some career and things like that in the middle part of the age, and regains back everything once he's about 50 years of age or so, something like that. Okay, and there may be a few secrets that may, somebody might spill some beans when the native is you know when the native is around and trying to make some wealth or something like that. When the problem comes due to Punarvasu, there is a downfall, and defamation can also happen at the same time. Downfall, defamation, both would happen at the same time. However, the native comes out of all of these and re-establishes himself. Okay, Rama was a very good communicator, that we all know. So this person has a very good communication knowledge. If the second lord Dispositor or second house Cusp, something falls like that into Punarvasu, he would be talking to different people very nicely at all classes. Third is Rama has helped all of his brothers and sisters. So the same thing you can see here. I'm not trying to say that only these results are going to come. You may have to think about in yourself. Like, let us suppose there's a cricket player. Okay, there is a cricket player who is having a bad patch in his life. It can be Punarvasu, because third house would show your hobbies or the kind of mastery you have on your talents that come due to hobbies. Like cricket would generally be started as a hobby in the evening, and once he gets mastery, he would quit everything and just do only cricket. So this person may have a bad patch in his life during the middle age of certain time, that can be due to Punarvasu. Okay, and he comes back very strongly after that bad patch. That's again Punarvasu. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that just you look at this and have a blind eye towards any other thing. You would have to take all the significations of the third house, all the significations of second house or first house or fourth house or whatever. Why did I say fame here? Because first house comes for the fame. So the fame comes from the first house or the 10th house. So unless there is a 10th house, at least 9th house, or sometimes the 10th house. I mean, mostly 10th house and first house. Unless these houses are involved, you cannot have defamation or fame or defame for that matter. Okay. Fifth house may lose kids in childhood. Sometimes what happens is the person may lose kids, like they may die in an accident and the children are born again. Okay. Or there can be abortions, and after abortions, a child is born again. Okay. Sometimes nothing happens, just the child goes out for education, he reunites with the family. Okay. So how would you do that? I mean, you have to see the planets as well, the kind of planets those are placed here, because now we're going to see like three things. One is the dispositor of the house, and then the cusp of the house, and then the lord of the house. Besides that, whenever you're looking at judging children, always use the Saptamsha chart, the D7 chart, without using the divisional chart, merely by using nakshatras. Never say your children are going to die and then you will have kids again. No, never do that. It's not going to work. Okay. I'm not saying it just because the person would get offended. It may not work 100%. Okay. And 99.99% of the times it won't work, because you have not checked the Saptamsha. I would eventually teach you how would you look at Saptamsha, Nabamsha, Dashamsha, and things like that. And if time permits, we'll also talk about all the Amsha chakras or the Varga chakras that we need to look at. So sixth house is all the deeds or the regular practice that you would do every walk of life. You have a routine. So daily routine would be dealt by sixth house. So Punarvasu would mean having a good routine, follow a good routine. Otherwise, Punarvasu may not work in case you have the sixth house connected to Punarvasu. So follow some dharma, have some good routine in life. So seventh may be like, it's the 10th from the 10th. So if you look at the 10th house from the 10th house would come into 7th house. So this can also bring in some bad fame during the downfall. Or just after the marriage, the person may lose some luxuries, some wealth and things like that. Or the spouse herself may go out, or himself may go out of her life, and they will join once again, like the Rama and the Sita. Okay. So 8th can also mean bad fame, because 8th is like ill fame. 10th is a good fame, and 8th is usually misfortune. So 8th can also have some impact, or one may lose some inheritance and may get back inheritance in the later age. Okay. Even here in the 8th connections, mother becomes very important. Okay, mother can make or mar the life of the native. So always look at the 4th house when you have 8th house in the Punarvasu. Ninth house, very obedient to parents and bosses. Okay, because Ardra, we have discussed, the Ardra is going to advise to the bosses, and if something is not very right, he would advise the boss or the teacher or someone, whoever is teaching him. He would not be taken aback. He would be very, very open and will go and discuss anything. But in case of in Punarvasu, you will not find it. Usually, unless asked, Rama did not say anything to any of his gurus. Only when Rama is asked to by either Vasishta or Vishwamitra or people like that, that's when Rama uttered a word. Otherwise, he just kept on nodding his head and did whatever the father said or the guru said. Okay, so that's, why I'm trying to teach you this is these are going to help you to position the lagna. Sometimes the lagna is off by about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You have to pick up either of these nakshatras, the Ardra or the Punarvasu. Then you would pick it up based on should we keep him in Ardra or in Punarvasu. Okay. Excellent professional life. Yeah, with Punarvasu, you have very good professional life for sure. However, there can be a little downfall during the middle age, but for sure is going to come back very strongly with Punarvasu. The same is the case with the 11th house. May lose some elder siblings or may lose some elder brothers, and they can come back into contact with the person once again. Or maybe losing some wealth or salary as well, because 11th becomes the salary. So somebody might lose a job or something during the middle age for 3-4 years or 5 years or 10 years, depending on how the combinations is. As I say, for 10th, for professional things, look at D10 and then time it. And based on that, this person will re-establish himself and will have a career once again. 12th, as I said, this also is in trines to the 4th house. So the 4th house becomes very important. So middle age things can be evident here. The person may go into a foreign country, may lose some wealth, come back to India, again go back, things like that. Okay. So 12th can also bring in good. What I would say is none of the positions, okay, do not think the first lord is in the 8th house. All that I would get is only bad things in my life. No, nothing like that. First lord is in the 12th house. Only bad is going to happen. No. First lord in the 8th house, first lord in the 12th house. I have seen so many people who are doing charmingly well. First lord in the 4th house, first lord in the 5th house are not doing anything in his life. Just unsuccessful. Both can happen. So just merely by looking at one thing and predicting that his life is bad or good is will be completely utterly wrong. Okay. Just in case you are looking at your own horoscopes or trying to make some predictions for somebody else, have this in mind. Never think that planets placed in kendras quadrants or trines are going to give in good results. 6, 8, 12 will bring in bad results. This is one of the worst things people have done in the past 50 years, which we have to repair it. Because even if your Lagna Lord is in the 6th or in the 8th or in the 12th, I have seen so many people to be working very, very well. They are not facing any issues. Sometimes you see the first lord to be very well placed, and this person is not doing anything, does not have money to eat, and things like that. I would keep emphasizing on these things time and again when we have the class, because a lot of people are literally carried away by these things. And when you try to buy cheap books in the market, wherein the first lord placed in the 12th house or the 8th house is a problem, and a first lord placed in the 5th house is excellent, both are wrong. Okay, both are wrong and both are right. It does not depend on the first lord being in the 5th house or 7th. A lot of people I've seen, especially in marriage making, 7th lord plays in the 12th house. Oh my god, this is a problem. Let's not go with him. 7th lord, 7th house, super. You may have problem with 7th lord, 7th house as well, and you may not have problem at all with the 7th lord being in the 12th house. Okay, a lot of my Telugu audience would know this because they've been listening to my classes for quite some time. However, on the English side, I have not touched upon this much. So never think just by placements of a house lord. Somebody has a second lord in the 12th house. People might think, this guy might be begging on the roads. No, it's not like that. This person might be doing very well in a foreign country, or he must have been born in a different state and being brought up in a different state, and his career and things like that are in a different state. I mean, in India, we have 25 or 30 states. So different states, the person might be moving, because India is a very large country. Even we can consider this as moving out of, out of country, because it's a large country, because the culture is different from different places. Okay. All right. How was the lecture? Anybody has a feedback? Anybody wants to share something? I would be happy to listen, just in case you made some connections while I was trying to explain all this. No one. No one made connections. Ouch. Is the lecture not good?
It was good, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Want to say something, Nandita?
Sir, have you know about Kris Jenner by any chance?
I couldn't hear you well. Can you say it once again?
So you told about that this nakshatra has like female cat only. So are you aware about Kris Jenner? I could relate some of the things with her, but like that being very protective about their kids.
So what's that Kris Jenner? Who's that?
So she's mom of Kim Kardashian.
Oh, okay. I don't follow much of Hollywood, so okay. I heard of Kardashians. Yes. Okay, she's the mother of Kardashian.
Yeah, so she is very protective of her kids, and like she's known for protecting their kids and kind of raising them and protecting them this way. So, like
Do you think she has something in Punarvasu?
it maybe her moon, I guess. Maybe her moon
Okay.
is Punarvasu.
Okay. I would rather say just not go exclusively by the moon thing, because most of the times you may get carried away with the moon placement. Because unless there are so many planets in Cancer, just having moon in any nakshatra is not going to give you any result. Okay, sometimes it is completely overshadowed with the kind of planets or placements in the other things. So just moon may not be right, or sometimes it may be right. Okay, not 100% every time.
Okay, sir.
Sir, my father had 7th Lord Dispositor in Punarvasu, sir.
Okay.
Initial days, it was okay. After that, they got separated because my mother was posted somewhere else. It took 3 to 4 years for them again to reunite, because it was Jupiter. It was done for the good.
Okay. Good to hear that. All right. So 11th connections, you might see salary, salary problems, middle age, and things like that. 10th also, you would see that. I think this is a very good nakshatra. Have a good understanding of it. I think we should stop here unless anybody else has any comments.
Sir, my brother has 3 planets in Punarvasu, but I don't know how to interpret it.
Okay. Do you know the lagna?
Yes, sir. He's his lagna is Scorpio. Wait, I'll open Jehura. Aryan. Yes, sir. His lagna is Vishakha, 2 degrees, and and in 8th house, Scorpio. Sorry, Scorpio is his rising sign basically, and the rising nakshatra is Vishakha. And in his 8th house, Sun, Mercury are in Punarvasu.
Okay. So they are in the Gemini.
Yes, sir. And also Jupiter at 0 degree is in Punarvasu.
Okay.
But it is in kind of 9th house.
So
Yes, sir.
you said the Lagna is at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
it can so happen that this can fall into if you just try to correct the time by about 5 minutes or so, this can fall back into Libra, right? Because it's just 2 degrees. 2 degrees would
Yes,
be like
sir.
7 minutes or 8 minutes. If you
Yes,
just
sir.
if you just pull the birth time backwards, then it can fall into like the 9th and the 12th. 9th, 12th, 11th houses are in Punarvasu. The dispositor as well is in Punarvasu. It's going to bring big result. How old is he now?
So he will turn 22 this July.
Okay, so if this is right, okay, if the Scorpio thing is right, his 11th lord and the 10th lord are in Punarvasu, right?
5th and 6th lord. Yes, sir. Leo
Okay.
and Mercury. Yes, sir.
Leo and Mercury are 11th and the 10th lords, and the dispositor as well is in Punarvasu. You are sure about this, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
Mercury is in Punarvasu.
Yes, sir.
So he
Mercury is in Ardra. Mars,
so that's a
Mars,
different
Jupiter, and
story.
Sun. Yes, sir.
So so that's a different story. His career is going to be very good now. Because one planet is in Punarvasu, the other planet is in, Sun
Ardra.
is in Punarvasu and Mercury
And
is in Ardra, right?
Ardra. Yes, sir.
So there will be huge, because of the 8th house, there will be big changes in life, but most of the times for the good. And his career is going to take different turns.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, still young now. And also will depend on different things, his lagna lord and things like that. You may have to correct using right techniques for the birth time and so on. I'll teach all of them once we go through a few nakshatras.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so let's call it a day. Thank you, all of you. Unless anybody else has question, let me wait for another 30-40 seconds. Any quick questions? I mean, don't be afraid. Don't think I know everything. I may not also know a lot of things. And I completely admit, just in case I do not know something, I'm not trying to coach you something wrong. If I know for sure, I would not stop myself. I would always teach it, unless I would think that this is going to confuse you more by teaching now. So like I said, the special degrees, although I wrote here, I'm not trying to teach them much because they want to confuse you more with the numbers. So we'll get into specificities of the numbers or the degrees once we have a fair understanding of what these nakshatras are doing. Then I'll teach you the Rashi chart, the Navamsha chart, and then the Saptamsha and the Dashamsha charts. How would we look at each padas of the nakshatra? What are the significations of the padas, and also the significations of rashis, and then importantly planets. So once we place planets into these, how are these going to work? And we have to give a result all together. It's not that just Sun in a place is going to give a result, or a Mercury in a position is going to give a result. Okay. Achha, just one thing up front, Nandita, if I forget sometime later, just ask your brother not to file any cases or anything in his life. When you grow up, just in case, do not file any cases or anything against parents or elders or anything like that. Everything will fall in place automatically in his life. He does not have to fight for inheritance or something like that. Okay. Mercury in Ardra, maybe
Okay.
little revolutionary in trying to establish career or trying to establish inheritance or something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. He is the most kind person in our house. Everyone else is totally hot-headed.
Yeah, I know. Because Ardra is very kind. Shiva is always kind. But something disturbs him very much, and if he thinks this is the most important thing in my life, he'll fight for it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you all.
Thank you.